We negotiated with him for years.
So it's over? Or
it's over. No. He'll never be in the UFC. Yeah, I never say never, but I'll give you a never on that one. Yeah, we tried.
So it seems like any hope for Francis to return to the UFC is over now. I mean, he's gonna have to make it work in boxing or something at this point. Dana going out and saying that he's never going to deal with Francis ever again is a bummer for us fans, man, because we want to see him come back and maybe fight John Jones or something. And Francis said a month and a half ago that he wants to return to the UFC one day, but it seems like that's over, and I can't imagine if he wants to stay in the sport of MMA that he's gonna go to Bellator or the PFL or anything like that, because they're not gonna offer him the same kind of money. They offer good money sometimes, but not comparable to a UFC champion, especially a guy like Francis, who he said they were offering him a lot of money, around $8 million to fight John Jones, when Ariel said that he heard that that's how much Brock Lesnar made against Mark Hunt. And we know Brock Lesnar is the highest paid heavyweight of all time. But we don't know the actual numbers around any of that. We don't know how long the multi-fight deal is going to be. I hear 3 fights and stuff, but we don't know for sure. We don't know how much exactly Francis was asking. There's some rumors out there saying that he asked for $30 million, but I don't know if any of that's true. It is allegedly coming from Ali. And there are some rumors that the deal was $8 million a fight, when there actually is no source to this. I think people are just taking that 8 million number and thought that was part of the whole deal, right? The multi-fight deal. But it seems like it was only for the John Jones fight that Ngannou was estimating. And then the rest of the fights could have been a different number, maybe 2 million, maybe 1 million, maybe 4 million, we don't know. So we honestly don't know pretty much anything about the entire deal, other than that the John Jones fight alone is around $8 million according to Francis, and it was a multi-fight deal. We don't know anything else about it. But Francis at the end of the day said that he wanted freedom, right? He said that he stood on his principles instead. He did say the money was good, but he also wanted health insurance, he wanted his own sponsors, and he wanted a fighter advocate to represent the fighters in the meetings. And because he couldn't get all of that, he ultimately just didn't want the deal. And it seems like it would have been good money. It seems like for most champions, it's good money, but to each their own, of course. And Ngannou just wanted much more than just a higher pay. If he took the deal, though, he could have absolutely negotiated for more later. Let's say if he had more success, he could have got probably more money and probably added each of these things that he wanted, like the health insurance and stuff, progressively add those on further into his deals, the more success he has. Deals just don't end, right? And especially if it was going to be a short deal, like 3 or 4 fights, let's say hypothetically, after that's done, he could have probably asked for more money and include one of those things and do that through time, because you can't just get everything at once, right? But I absolutely do respect any fighter's decision to accept a deal or deny a deal, and for Francis to look at freedom, as he said, more than anything else, is admirable. I mean, if he's willing to take less pay for the things that he wants, kudos to that guy, but it is honestly going to be difficult for him to make a lot of money anywhere else, besides if he has success in boxing. If he's able to beat Deontay Wilder, that's another thing of just being part of the Deontay fight and then losing. So he can go up against Deontay Wilder, he could potentially go up against, Tyson Fury. It's not just taking part of those fights, he has to actually have success, because I don't know if against Deontay, if he's going to get an absurd amount of money. I don't even know if he's going to make $8 million for that fight, because if you look at other fighters like Luis Ortiz making $7 million against Deontay, and Deontay's not as big of a star as he was when he fought Fury, stemming off of his last fight that he just had. I don't even know if, honestly, Francis is going to get that $8 million that was allegedly offered to him by the UFC. I don't even know if he's going to even get that kind of money, but if he could fight Fury, that's a different thing, because Tyson Fury brings a lot of eyes to fights. It is a risky move to go through Deontay first and then try to target Tyson. That would be lucrative, right? That would make his entire future secured. If he's able to beat Deontay and then fight Fury, the guy can make like $30-40 million in total right there. Arguably, if he plays his cards right. And he gets all the stuff that he wants. He gets the right to sponsorship for those fights. And as fun as those fights are going to be, at the end of the day, man, it's nothing like if you were to fight in the UFC against John Jones or Cyril Gane for the second time, Stipe Miocic for the third time, or Sergey Pavlovich. Like, these are the fights I really want to see for Francis as a fan. But at the end of the day, man, I always back what the fighters want. The fighters definitely do deserve a lot.